If you've ever felt like you're shouting into the void and it feels like nobody's listening, it's not your volume, it's your clarity, because visibility doesn't start when everyone sees you. It starts when you finally see you. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of 37 books and counting. I help people write, publish, market books to bestseller. Done that 5,000-ish times. But the truth of the matter is what I'm really here in the world to do is to help you get visible. Visibility isn't about being loud, it's about being clear. Clarity is powerful. When you're clear, consistent, you become inevitable. And connection with the people you connect with is unstoppable. You're not just creating a message, you're creating a movement. You're not just doing a thing, you're doing the thing that you were created to do. You're doing what you were meant to do in this world to make the difference that only you can make. And in order to do that, you need to be competently clear. You don't need to shout it from the rooftops. You can whisper it. You don't need to dance and shout and scream and cut yourself and do all those kind of things. You just simply need to consistently connect clearly. See how the three C's just kind of, and if you've been listening for a while, you're beginning to hear they're interchangeable. They're not a first be clear, then be consistent, then connect. I mean, there are some frameworks that you have that work that way. This one is, it isn't really a framework, it's the foundational elements. If you're going to put a roof on the house, you need to have all of the pillars, all the foundation pieces. Even if you haven't built out the whole walls, you have to have, if it's a four, let's just say it's a square house, you got to have all four sections there. If it's a pyramidal shape house, then you need to have the three sections there. That's clarity, connection, consistency. Clarity, consistency, connection. Connection, consistency, clarity. You see, they're all three absolutely imperatively part of how you show up. And when you're clear, you're going to unlock your confidence. Because when you see you clearly, we've all done this, okay, no judgment. When you stop looking in the mirror, when we stop seeing the flaws, the flyaway parts in your hair, I wish I could change this part of me. I have a friend of mine who, because of the abuses that she grew up under, literally got to the place where she could do everything that it took to get dressed, to do her hair, and all of that kind of things, and never have to look in a mirror. Now, I don't know if in the culture she came from, if she wore makeup or not, but I know that absolutely positively, I've heard her tell this story many, many times, and we've talked about it on one-on-one calls as well. She could do it without ever having to have to look in the mirror because she hated herself. And until she learned to love herself, to go back to that small child that was wounded and say, it's okay, to reclaim that spark. I mean, little kids are amazing, right? They're going to, this week they're going to be a doctor and next week they're going to be a fireman and then they think they're a pony, right? And instead of, worrying about any of that, it's just fun if we just encourage them where they are. We don't need to change the whole world because of who they see themselves as. We want to help them explore all the possibilities. We want them to believe that they can become Superman. That doesn't mean we need to let them jump off of the roof. We need to be good parents and keep them safe. but we want them to believe that they can get superpowers, that they can dig a hole in the backyard and they can reach all the way to China, or that they're going to find gold, or they're going to go on a treasure hunt in their same yard and they're going to come back with this amazing stick that they found. See, children are totally confident like that. It's all that we pour on them. It's the world that dumps on them that makes them no longer the confident beings that they were. And sadly, in some cases that happens way too early. The confidence almost never comes out. Shyness, and I'm not talking about the personality type that is more of an introverted or quiet type, but I'm talking about the children that they have a timidity that comes from being shut down, comes from being hurt, comes from bad situations. And all too often that happens way too early in life. Sometimes it's mistakes that we make as a parent. And any of you that have been parents, the stack of mistakes that you've made that you would go back and change. The truth of the matter is that, as a grandparent, I can tell you that if I'd go back, I just want to love and hug and kiss on them more. 99% of the things that were so important when I was 19 or 20 or 25 or 35, all of those things that were so important, they really weren't. I'm not saying that, give up teaching your children values and structure and all the things that children absolutely do need in this world. Absolutely, we need to instill that and give them that as a special, wonderful gift that we give to them. But also let them keep that confidence. And for you need to go back to that child's confidence, to that things that children say about themselves, that think I can attitude, that the little engine that could inside of them sees and believes completely. And when we then see ourselves that way, when we see ourselves the way that the 2 or the 3 or the 5, depending on when the hurts began and the world began to dump on you and your confidence began to diminish. When we see ourselves that way, then we can really begin to start being clear. You see, it's not, I mentioned this yesterday, it's not about creating a new version of yourself. You don't have to go in and reimagine, reinvent you. You just have to be the true you that you always have been. I encourage you to take some time today to really look at the things way back. And I'm talking like if you can remember when you were 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, those things that you were just powerfully confident about. Not because there was any reason to be, but just because that's the way children are. And more importantly, all those things that show up over the course of all of your life, because even with those hurts and pains and misses and all of those kind of things, that true inner core of you showed up. Maybe you were a giver and you just loved helping other people. Maybe you had a real natural showman talent or leadership quality, and they showed up in those ways. Maybe you just knew you were fabulous. I posted a meme, it was a couple of months ago now, God made me fabulous, but he forgot to make me wealthy, right? You were just fabulous. You didn't even know that you weren't wealthy. You thought you were just the most amazingly wealthy princess in the whole world because nobody had told you you weren't yet. Go back and look at those things and see the thread throughout the course of your whole life, that real you that keeps trying to come to the surface, that the world and ourselves, unfortunately, we're the worst enemies of it, keeps tamping down, keeps saying, no, we don't do that. We take this child. Oh, you can see it's got me a little flustered and frustrated. We take this beautiful, wonderful soul who's full of energy and doesn't sit still. And what we do to them is at about 5 years old, kindergarten age, we send them to school and tell them, sit down and shut up. This child has been running around in circles in the backyard, has been creating the world, the universe of things in their imagination. And now we tell them, shh, be quiet, lay still. You know, I mean, they go from that stage of, I don't want to take a nap, not because they're not exhausted, not because we don't need to make them take the nap, but because in their world, there's just so much to learn, so much to do, so much to discover. There's never going to be enough time to be able to do all of it. And they don't ever want to stop. No matter how long ago the sun went down, no matter how exhausted they are, no matter how much they can't even hold their head up anymore, they still have that. And then we take and we put them in a place where we stamp them down. And we try to put that imprint of, but this is how proper people are. And we teach them some things that they need to learn and a whole lot of things that they really probably never needed to learn. And maybe in that discovery, that's why I was such a big, early on proponent of homeschool, because most of childhood learning, and I'm talking about, way into like even maybe middle school age, most of it is discovery, really. Helping them take the thing they discover and then give them some knowledge around that. If they're into cooking, that's a perfect way for them to learn math. Because they'll learn the math, they'll learn their fractions, they'll learn their algebra, all just from doing the recipe that they wanted to do. If they're into building blocks, they're going to learn the principles of engineering and those kind of things. And all too often, we try to make this cookie cutter that by the time they're done with the end of college, they're just like everybody else. When in fact, they were this amazing child with this amazing opportunity that we stamped down. I want you today to release that person, the true, real, whole, complete you. You are not too much and you never were. And everything that you are and all that you do and all that you ever imagined doing, absolutely positively, was always perfect and exactly and more than enough. Because once you know you, then you can move into the bridge between the real you and the world. That bridge is consistency. You see, connection is consistency. When you bring the clear, real you to the world and you do it consistently, not because people are watching, but in fact, because people aren't watching. Not because you've got your message down to the point where you can do an 18-minute TED Talk and you can nail it right at the 18-minute mark. The clock hits 18 and you are hitting your last word. And yeah, I hope that as a speaker, you learn to do what we call in radio, hit the post, where, you say that last word and then boom, the music hits. Or even more so, you're talking through the intro part of the music and you end and then, the lead vocalist comes in. Those are skills that we used to teach in radio broadcasting and in speaking and things like that often get missed these days. But right now, it's the real you. We're at the beginning of this stage, okay? Right now, you want to just bring out the real you consistently. I was actually talking to somebody just before I went live on this, and they were realizing that if they don't, and they were talking about posting, I'm still encouraging them, they need to go live at least 3 times a week. The impact of it begins to wane. I'm going to tell you that really, if you're not doing something, a minimum of 4 to 5 times a week. In fact, I have a good friend of mine that's a coach. The Monday post that they teach people to do every Monday is a post to re-engage, because they took the weekend off. And so now all their followers have, gone to the other things and gone to the baseball games and done all those things. And you do still need to do some re-engagement kind of stuff on Mondays because, other people took the weekend off. But the more you consistently are showing up in different ways, and that's not saying that maybe, when you get to the point where you want to start posting on Saturdays and Sundays, that you haven't pre-recorded them. In fact, once we get the consistency down, once you just practice going out and you really get clear on you and you're consistently sharing it, then we'll move into teaching you the skills of how you can do all of it. And you could take, a couple hours of going live and repurpose that into the whole month of content. There's even ways that you can use AI now to be able to, take the written content, drop it into ChatGPT, create absolutely in your voice a whole slew of videos and have it be your face, your voice, and or the things that are the best for really presenting the real you out there, and make 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 videos in 20, 30 minutes. It's very doable. There's the technology for that. But none of that technology is going to help you right now because, number one, you haven't embraced you. I know this because I'm just in the process of doing that and showing you me doing that. And then second, you need to share that real you with you consistently. And part of it is just this, and this is where this long tail video really comes in handy, because you just say things out and someone will be able to be like, that wasn't really it. Sometimes you'll go off on a tangent. Sometimes you'll do like you've heard me do many times, and you'll talk and talk and talk and talk about books, and it's not anything to do with books. I mean, yeah, bestseller is a day one launch strategy. Your words need to be out there, but that's not the point. You need to be visible and valuable. Your book is a cornerstone in the foundation of your visibility and your valuability. And you need to be exactly who you are consistently out into the world. Show up every day. Show up messy. Show up disheveled. Show up like, today I wore a t-shirt. I really love this t-shirt. And, for those of you that don't know, I'm on a weight loss journey. I've lost 120 pounds already. I've got more. It's a little bit more than that right now, actually. But I'm still kind of sticking at the 120 until it's a big number, so I can be like, and now I've lost. Yeah, right. I love big reveals like that. But you can see in this shirt. Okay, this is one of the shirts that I broke out of a container that I had about 2 months ago now, and just tried it on thinking, well, maybe I'm down low enough that I can now. And look at it. I mean, it's already starting to, you can see where the shoulders are. One's just off of the edge of my shoulder and the other one's off a little bit, and I mean, I've got a shirt that I wear to sleep in that it's like, I mean, it goes down below my knees now. And it used to be the reason why I liked wearing it is because it was long enough that no matter how big my stomach was, it didn't show the bottom of my stomach. I could raise my hands all the way up in there and not feel uncomfortable at all. And so, you show up in a shirt that makes you feel really proud of yourself. It's like, look what I'm doing. Look at how far I've come. And you just consistently use your magnetic clarity to reach the people that you will reach. And you will reach people, and people are going to see it. Some of those people are going to see it, days, weeks, months from now. And I know that Facebook Lives have changed, and they're only going to be available 30 days. And you're going to repurpose little shorts from this and put those out there as reels on Instagram and on TikTok. And yes, here on Facebook. And you're going to have all that content. It's one of the reasons why I do this live using StreamYard. And yeah, I'm using the paid version of StreamYard so that I can go out live to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube simultaneously. And honestly, I use my YouTube as a cloud storage device so that all of these videos are there. I can go back a month from now, 6 years from now, and I can take this same video and I can replay it or part of it right back out to you. You see, when you do this consistently and you do it every day, imagine, okay, let's take 90 days out from right now. Let's say you start today, clear message, consistently, you're going to do it and you're going to go crazy like what I'm doing. You're going to go crazy right along with me. Thank you. I appreciate your craziness coming with me. And you're going to go out 7 days a week. Now, let's say that you're not quite as talkative. You're not a chatterbox like I am. And so you're only going to go for 5 minutes. I was going to say 10, but I decided to say 5. 5 minutes, 7 days a week. That's 35 minutes a week. Okay. 5 minutes over the course of, when we hop ahead 90 days, that's 450 minutes that you'll have of content you can give to people to know about you. You could give to somebody to make a sizzle reel for you. You can feed into the transcripts of into ChatGPT so they really know your voice, your tone, and your style. They can even help you identify, here's how you were honing yourself. And there's some cool things that tool that AI can really help you glean from it. They can look at it and go, hey, this piece really hit and that piece really kind of missed. This piece was totally on track and here's where you really went off the rails. And honestly, I'll tell you, I haven't gone that direction with ChatGPT yet. I want to stay just raw and real with you right now. That's a next step for me on my journey too. And it may be that you need to do the whole first 90 days before you then go back and start doing any review or any honing. Just kind of discover who you are and be clear with that and consistently put that clarity out there. Because connection is a byproduct of you being real. If you just show up as the real, clear, totally, this is who I am, real you're going to connect with your people. Now, you're going to have a whole lot of people that you're not going to connect with because they're not your people. Right now, we want at the end of 30 days to have met that one person that's just all in. One. Okay. Now, statistically speaking, it's 1 to 5 people that are going to be in your group that are going to be just all in. But if you've got a group and you have one person that posts in the group a couple of times a week, at the end of that 30 days, you're doing really good. And it may just be you and them in that group that first 30 days. And they may become one of your evangelists and they may, be out there starting to invite people into this group. It's like, man, you should see all this content that this person's put out into the group. It's amazing stuff. You got to come and see it. I re-released my book, Write Your Bestseller Today. I did it on Monday. It's still free today if you want to go get it. Write Your Bestseller Today, Steve Kidd, Amazon. You can get it. You can contact me and get the link. I didn't do it so that I could sell more books. I didn't put any ad budget. I haven't. I've done a couple of posts. A couple of friends of mine have reposted it, and I really, really appreciate that. And I shared it with a few people, but I did it because I wanted to anchor my message in who I really am, and who I was born to share too. It was okay. And that's about as best as I can tell you what the old version of it was. It was okay. I had gone back and fixed it. It had a lot of glaring errors in it actually to begin with. And I had gone back and fixed most of the grammar errors that were in it, but it was still just okay. And I had to up-level it. I had to say, no, we're going to show you. I'm going to pull back the curtains and I'm going to show you this is exactly what you need to do. Now, there's a whole lot more that I do in courses and things like that I do when I help a person write a book. And in the done for you version, there's a whole lot of them that we just do behind the scenes. But I didn't do it for any of those kind of things. I did it because I had spent the time for my DIY program, and more importantly, our brand new group that's the paid group, that's the done with you, get your book done. The ChatGPT custom GPTs that I created. And I wanted to then not just tell you, hey, these are these amazing things. I wanted to show you that in my own life, I had massively up leveled this book by using, taking my own medicine, using my own system, following my own process. I wanted to be truly clear so that I could help you get truly clear. I want to be really, completely, radically visible for you so that you can be visible. It's all about you. It really is. All the books that I write, all the things I've done, the partnership that Willie and I have, where we, have put out Magnetized Media and all the other things that we're behind the scenes planning out into the world. They're all to make a difference in your life, to help you be the change in the world that you were meant to be, because you're so cool. You're so incredibly amazing. And I don't think you see that. And I really, 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 really want you to. I want you to know you, and I want you to believe in you like I do. And then go out and make the difference that only you can make in this world. To be powerful, to be clear, consistently clear, to connect with the people that clear, consistent connection will make. To be visible and valuable, to be the voice that your voicelessness has always longed to be. Have the spotlight shining on your face and be the change and make the difference that only you can make in this world. And thank you for doing it. I appreciate you. Until we're together again next time, I hope you have a great week.